course, great. I did a whole stream yesterday. Well, not a whole stream. I did a very short stream yesterday, and I did not even have my mic plugged in. And a familiar person came in and said hi, and I was saying hi, what's up, and started explaining everything I was working on, and they promptly left. Didn't say anything about about there being no audio. And yeah, I kept streaming for like probably 40 minutes after that. Cut it early, and then I was just checking on the video, making sure everything was all good, and there's no mic audio. All I was doing was talking the whole time. Such a waste of time. I was so tired. I didn't even notice I didn't have my mic plugged in. Anyway, I'm mostly going to do the same thing tonight, so I guess I got practice yesterday. But, where's my browser? So, yeah, basically the goal right now, for the stream anyway, is start making some sense of Nautilus. Kind of learn the modes of Nautilus a little bit. So I was checking these out a little bit yesterday, and basically, I'm just repeating myself from yesterday more or less, but if you look at this top row here, well, and this applies to pretty much every row, but so Nautilus, the whole tone scale in Nautilus is Porcupine. It's not really a whole tone scale, but it looks like a whole tone scale on the keyboard. So that's Porcupine. That's the first mode of Porcupine, the bright major. And then basically you get double the Porcupine modes. So if you just look at the Porcupine, you get 2 of the bright majors. So you'd look at every other column here, and it actually would start here, where the first bright major would be here. But if you just look at the even numbered columns, that's just Porcupine. So if you start from mode 14 and then go to mode 1, those are the same Porcupine mode. And then these, so these are both the bright major Porcupine, and then these are both the magical 7th, or magical diminished, whatever you want to call it, Porcupine, which is where you split the Pythagorean 7th into equal thirds, which you can see right here. You get this 993 minor 7th. That's roughly Pythagorean, quite close, like 3 cents off. And then we've just cut that into 3 1/3 into slivers of 331, more or less. And then we have 2 of these, I can't remember specifically what it's called, but these diminished things. So 2 of this half diminished mode, then this other half diminished mode. One's bright and one's dark. That's all I remember. I guess I'll pull it up real quick. Porcupine modes. They're all on the page. So yeah, you get the dark half diminished is the first one. These are backwards. And then the bright half diminished is the second one. So these are organized from brightest to darkest. So they're written kind of backwards from this. So the dark half diminished is first, then the bright half diminished. Then we have the dark minor. So anyway, you have 2 magicals, 2 dark diminished, 2 bright diminished, then 2 dark minor, 2 bright minor, and then 2 dark major, which is this one. And that one's pretty cool. It's got a really cool 9th. It's got the neutral 9th in it. And then 2 bright majors. So the difference now is so basically we have that framework of the modes of Porcupine to kind of simplify the modes of Nautilus. So in Nautilus, since you have double the notes as Porcupine, but they basically fall, well, not basically, they literally fall in between the notes of Porcupine. It's almost like the chromatic version of Porcupine. So and what's neat about it is that whereas in a lot of the modes of Porcupine you only have one type of third and one type of seventh and so on. Well, you literally do. You have one type of each interval in every mode of Porcupine. But in Nautilus we have 2 and in a couple instances 3 types of interval. So we're almost caught up to where I'm at. So if we look at the bright major to start, we have, so our Porcupine intervals, of course, a major second, which is Pythagorean more or less. Then this kind of flat major third. This is just as flat of Ji major third as 12 Ito is sharp of a Ji major third. I mean, maybe not like to the 100th of a cent or something like that, but it's very close on the other side. So it's like the dark version of the, it's like the mirror of the 12 Ito or whatever, the doppelganger third. And then we have this very slightly augmented fourth. Then we have a pretty much perfect fifth. It's just a cent and a half sharp, closer than the 12 Ito fifth. Not by much, but technically closer to Ji. I mean, so Ji is like 701.9 or something. So this is like 1.5 off. And then we have this kind of neutral sixth, but yeah, kind of neutral sixth, kind of major sixth. Then we have this kind of neutral 7th. Well, like a sharp minor 7. It's minor. It's a minor 7th for sure. But yeah, it's a little, you can see it's a little bright. And of course, we have the octave. So, Porcupine, the intervals go major 2nd, major 3rd, or mode 1, and then, you know, kind of slightly augmented 4th, and then perfect 5th, and then a neutral-ish 6th, but more so major, and then a minor 7, kind of bright, but basically minor 7. So the neutral 6 is the most, probably like, obviously different sort of sound, but then that 4th is pretty noticeably augmented. So I'll just play through there real quick so we can hear it. I'm gonna need to modify my take this filter on. That's a little better. Alright, so yeah, that was another tangent I went on yesterday. I probably need to just repeat today. What's going on with this? All right. What the heck? I'm getting I mean, granted, I don't get anything from Twitch chat, but it never wants to. But yeah, it's, I'll be getting a new monitor later this week. It's in the mail. And then the stream should go like a lot more smoothly because I'm just going to share one of my monitors instead of setting up all the individual windows. But okay, so where were we? All right, so this is you know, Porcupine major, bright major. So yeah, so we have the major 2nd, major 3rd, then the kind of augmented 4th. You kind of hear it's tritonesque. Then the perfect 5th, and then the that cool neutral 6th or whatever. Love that sound. And then the minor 7 there. And then back to the octave, of course. So yeah, that's that. So now we have other choices though. So in mode 1 normally, in Porcupine, I mean, you just would have the major chord. But we do have a minor chord now too. This is this 289. I can't remember what this is. So, but before I go back over all that, because I do kind of want to remember what all these are. But I think it's a I want to say it's a 1513. Basically, it's a what, I can't remember what the word is for that. Trisesimal or something. And then but anyway, so you have this minor 3rd, minor chord to go with it. So you know you have also, of course, a minor 7. Or sorry, that's the minor 7. So you have, you know, regular dominant, and then because we have an extra seventh here. We have the major seventh here. It's a little sharp, but it's a major seven. I can't remember what, I want to say this was another like 13 limit. So that's one thing I did notice, at least looking at the first couple modes, was there was a lot of like 13 limit stuff that was really close that was not in Porcupine. So I think Nautilus compared to Porcupine, I guess it introduces some like 13 limit intervals. Porcupine has some pretty good 11 limit stuff. A couple good 11 limit intervals. I think it did have a 1311 actually. So I guess it had some 13 limit, and of course it had that 23/19, the vicesimo tertial, or whatever you call that. I want to look up that word again. But anyway. So yeah, we have a major 7 now. Minor major. Minor 7. And a dominant. All in that mode. And then so while we do have the augmented fourth, we also have like a really augmented fourth. So this is like a super fourth, I guess. But then we have like a real tritone here. A little sharp. Or like a, you know, flat fifth or whatever. So there's our fifth, or no. Yeah, there's our fifth. Here's our flat fifth. There's our fourth. And then we have this 455. This is like a, that works like a fourth. Or like a third. So it does work as a super major, at least in my opinion. But almost makes the regular major third sound minor. It makes it sound kind of sussy. Am I in the right mode? It doesn't seem right. It kind of seems off. I thought I refreshed this, but maybe I didn't save it. Let me, this is so funny, I did this last night too, but the mic was off. I wonder if my mic went off already again. No, I literally just didn't plug it in yesterday. So, where is it? And let's load the keyboard mapping too. Oh, it was wrong. No wonder. I thought that seemed odd. So I was just saying all that stuff, but it was just wrong. Alright. I was in one of the minor modes or something. That's no wonder that third sounded like it worked. I thought that was so weird. It's like way too sharp. Yeah, we were in like one of the minor modes. Maybe even like the half dimension mode or something. Let's do all this again, because I wasn't even in the right mode. So here's the major second. Here's the major third. Wow, this makes so much more sense. And then here's the augmented four. You know, I think that last four was just the regular one. I think we were in one of these. We were like almost definitely in one of these with the regular four. So we were either in this mode. I didn't notice anything weird about the fifth. So maybe we were in this mode. Mode 5. That would make sense because we've dropped from major to minor to like a sus thing. I bet we were in that mode, but maybe not. I wouldn't be surprised if we were though. But anyway, let's do the mode we're in now. So anyway, so here's the Porcupine, the bright major for real this time. So there's the major second. Then here's the major third. The flat major third. Then here's that sharp 4. Oh man, now you can hear it. It's so crazy how like you think you know what you're talking about, and then just say shit to fill in the blanks. Or at least I do. And then anyway. So here's the major second, and the major third. Kind of augmented a fourth. It does sound way more augmented now. Here's that perfect fifth. Now that sounds way more major. And then here's a minor seventh. Alright, sounds a lot cooler too. I like this mode. Anyway. So there you have it. So revisiting all that, but for real this time, we have the major, or the dominant 7, which is a Porcupine thing. But then since we're Nautilus, we have the major 7 too. There we go. And then we also have this minor chord. Oh man, it sounds so much better too. So you have a minor 7, of course, kind of a major 7, and so that's this 289. And then so yeah, this does sound like a fourth. So you have like 2 fourths basically. So yeah, See, you have a major, dominant, and then this sixth is so sharp, it's almost like kind of approaches that harmonic seventh. So you almost have like an extra seventh here. Major 7, minor 7, maybe either like a super major 6 or a harmonic 7 or something. So that's the Nautilus note. So this is Nautilus, this is Nautilus, this is Nautilus. So, and then there's our neutral 6. Kind of sounds like a major 6. And here's a new note to Nautilus at minor 6. Nice minor 6 there. Pretty minor 6-y. Works good with that. Slightly augmented 4th. And you notice that almost kind of wants to resolve, but does not really. Doesn't quite make it. So yeah, that's a bit of that. Checking the stream, everything looks good. No views. Not one view yet. That's like bad even for me. Oh well. Alright, so did I update the make sure the info is up. Yeah. I do think this is 19 though, not 18, but I'll double check when I'm done. Alright, anyway, just gonna keep going. So, yeah, let's keep looking into this. So, we have this major 7th, this super major 6, which is kind of also like harmonic 7th. This basically like a major 6, pretty flat, but it's kind of a neutral 6th. And then we have this minor 6, and a perfect 5th, and we have a unique tritone, unique to Nautilus, that is. So yeah, this whole area is kind of interesting because we have this really sharp 3rd, which is like a flat, or this kind of like sub 4th or whatever. And then we also have this slightly sharp 4, and then we have this. Kind of, yeah, just kind of like a flat 5th or a tritone or whatever. So you kind of have 2 choices for diminished, I guess. We have this minor 6. Well, you don't want the minor 6 though. You have this, you have basically like 2 major 6, I guess. And you have like 2 tritones, sort of. This could be a 4 or tritone, I want to say. And then you have this. And yeah, these kind of remind me of like the 11th harmonic and then the 23rd harmonic. I don't think they're really that close to those, but it does remind me of that. Just having the 2 tritones. So we only have 1 minor 3rd, but then we have kind of 2 tritones. So here's one choice. Here's the other. That sounds more. This one definitely sounds better. And then for major 6 we have this or this. So this one almost sounds half diminished. This one definitely sounds half diminished. It's interesting how they're like 2 different flavors of the same chord, but like very clearly distinct. When you switch between one and the other, it kind of brings the opposite quality out of the other. So this kind of on its own might seem pretty diminished, but after you hear this one, alright. I don't know. I don't even know what to make of this one. It's just interesting. See a lot of different flavors of just diminished. And of course we have the major 7th. It's kind of a cool chord. So, yeah. And then over here we have this kind of wide. So yeah, you can build like pretty familiar like modes out of this. So you had, that was like a it's kind of like that harmonic major or whatever. Something like that. And then was that like that double Phrygian or whatever? Or Phrygian dominant or something? Can't remember what that's called. And then have a couple options for like a major. Do you want the sharp or 6 or the flatter one? So they both seem to work. But yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the neat thing about Nautilus is you have access to more, kind of more familiar stuff, to be honest. So I wanted to review. So I think, what was this? 289. I think this was no, it's 1311. Tridecimal minor third. It's a 1311. I know I saw 1513 somewhere though. Maybe that was this 248.3. Ah, there it is. Here it's 247.7, so like half a cent off. I mean, it's really close. Tridecimal semi-fourth. Is that right? Oh, that means half of fourth. Tridecimal semi-fourth. 247.7. 1513 is an instance of an interseptimal interval as it falls in an ambiguous zone between two septimal extremes. Yeah, I did all this last night. I can't remember all of it. And then this 1117.2 was like, I think this was another. No, I forgot about this. This actually had that 21st harmonic, so that's So the 20 here, this is the inversion of a 2120. Or not inversion, but yeah. It's the inversion of 2120. So 21 is like the naturally occurring fourth above the fundamental, meaning not the subharmonic fourth. That would just be like down a 3/2 fifth. But the naturally occurring fourth above the harmonic fourth, I guess you might say. And it's also it's the seventh of the fifth, I guess. So the harmonic seventh of the fifth, 3/2 fifth or whatever. So the distance from that, say we're in key of C, the distance from that 21F to the E above that would be this. And it's kind of wide. Acute major seventh. Despite being approximated by the diminished octave in systems like septimal mean tone, and even being called the small septimal diminished octave by some musicians, due to the analogy with 2120 being called the large septimal chroma, 4021 is a major seventh in just intonation systems such as sagittal notation, Helmholtz-Ellis, and functional just system viewed as the Pythagorean major seventh, altered by this little sliver of a distance, whatever that is. Who knows where they got that from? These three limit snobs and their obscure commas. Anyway, that's that interval. And it sounds like this. See, if you put that kind of a sub fourth or whatever in there, it sounds pretty good. Sounds good with the major third too, but almost gives it that minor major quality. Not with the fifth though. I like that. So yeah, I'm curious what is the difference between this bright major and the other bright major. So the difference is the minor second on mode 14. It's a little flatter, so it's a darker chromatic scale or whatever. So that interval is slightly flatter, but everything else is the same. So 82.8 and 124.1. So let's check out this one first. 124.138. Is this close? Not that close. That's pretty close. 1413, about 4 cents off. 24. Nah, it's 5 cents off. I mean, not bad, but not great. 111. That's not close at all. What was the closest? So 138. That's not good. 128. 1413. It's 4 cents off. 119 is 5 cents off. So these are both pretty close. Tridecimal 2/3 tone, or triune third. Trine third? I don't know what. A triune third, okay, is a somewhat exotic 13 limit interval. Just almost exactly a third of a major third. That's crazy. Triune third was a favorite interval of Avicenna, Ibn Sina, I don't know, I probably mispronounced all that, for his scale constructions, and may be considered a smaller size of neutral second. Thus, intervals close in size to it have been called sinaics. Thus? What do you mean thus? Is that, oh, sinaics. It may be called the tridecimal supraminor second, analogous to 2113 being the tridecimal supraminor sixth. 13 limit just intonation 1413 represents the difference in size between the tridecimal minor third 1311 and the undecimal major third 1411. It's also the difference between this, that, and the other. Okay, very good. Okay, so it's a lot of information I'm gonna promptly forget. Difference. The minor second is a little flatter in one mode than in the other one. And yeah, just like last night, I'm getting tired so fast. I think my sleep schedule's finally shifting forward a little bit. But I might try to make a little sense of this. Let's see, is anybody watching? We've had somebody pop in for 1 millisecond. But no. So yeah, these two modes are more or less identical. They're just one note different. And that's going to be the case for most of these. So in a very real way, Nautilus is not as interesting. But you also have to consider if this was just 12 Ito, and we were looking at chromatic scales, it would literally, every mode would be identical. So it's more interesting than that. And also, you can do a lot of, even though it's not a full 29 note tuning, you can still do a lot of like this. It's 14 notes, but it's similar. I think you can do a lot of stuff similar to what you can do in like 12. So you have, well, because we're Nautilus, we have extra major chords. So in Porcupine, there's only 2 major chords. And then there's only 2 minor chords, and then there's 3 diminished chords, which who needs that many diminished chords? So if we look at our diminished modes, we do have a fat chunk of them, but even in all those diminished modes, we have what looks like a major third. So here's our magical 7th chord. So yeah, we do have a major third, and it kind of feels like you have a major triad, even though the 5th is really off. So yeah, even though this is really flat, it still kind of just works for some reason. It's kind of interesting sounds there. Yeah, so this is the magical. These are the 2 magical modes. And I'm not calling them magical because I feel like they're magical. They're literally called that because they're somehow related to magic temperament or whatever. That chord specifically, that when you split that Pythagorean 7th into thirds, the name for that is a magical 7th because it relates to magic temperament. Some comma, or who knows? I have yet to piece it all together. But so here's the brighter version of the 2. Playing spot the difference. So the major 7th is different. So here you have a slightly flat, and as you can see, that's a unique interval to this mode. And then here we have the same boring major 7th as we have in all of them. So here it is with the regular major 7. There it is with the new major 7. So oh no, I did that wrong. So here it is with the regular major 7. There it is with the flat or major 7. I can't really tell the difference. I'm sure there is. I mean, obviously there is one. But yeah, those chords sound very similar. But yeah, even in these diminished modes, you have major thirds. Oh, that's a major. So yeah, if you either just don't play the 5th or yeah, the 5th is like quite sharp. I mean, that's pretty sharp. And this one's pretty flat. So I mean, there's no good 5th here at all. But yeah, just like last night, I'm like starting to pass out while doing this. But yeah, so that 7th is the only difference in these two. So that and that. I think I can hear it's wider, but it's pretty subtle. Oh, like that. Alright, so yeah, still on the well, basically last night I just went over the first mode some, a little bit of the second mode. And that's all I managed to do tonight too, so it's a lot of information. I really just want to do it though. So yeah, tomorrow it'll probably be more of the same. Just gonna keep going to this chart and try to chip away at it. Just try to understand it a little bit, and then start playing around more and more in Nautilus until it makes a little bit of sense. Anyway, I think having done Porcupine, that is really going to help anchor all of this, because I can sort of just, arbitrarily just decide, okay, Porcupine's the anchor or whatever, which might as well be, because it's consistent. It repeats through, I guess a lot of things do though in this. But yeah, we can basically think of like Nautilus as being like double Porcupine plus extra extensions or whatever. And yeah, I'm excited to get into it because it does remind me a lot of just vanilla 12 Edo, but there's a lot of really just Zen harmonic intervals in here. That sixth, this sixth, that whole this whole area. It's just nuts. But then it does have a lot of like, I mean, it's got solid fifths and fourths, of course. It's got, you know, major and minor thirds. They're definitely like tipping towards something else, but they work. It's got sub fourth. It's good. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here, and my hope is that once I start playing with it, it'll start to feel kind of intuitive, kind of like 12, because there's a lot of the same sort of chords that I guess the scariest bit is this chunk, all these diminished modes with no real fifths. That's the scariest chunk, but I don't know. That's kind of might also just be what makes it interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to start really playing with it, but I do want to kind of know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm only gonna know so much, but yeah, I just want to dig into the theory first. So we'll keep doing that tomorrow. And if I can start the stream a little earlier, maybe I can go a little longer. But I don't know. How long does one of these streams need to be? 1 or 2 hours probably. It's good enough. Alright, I'll be back tomorrow. If you didn't watch live, I don't think, but if you're watching this later, thanks for watching. That's it.